Judy to be closer to the mic, or you can stand more.
Shana Tova. We invite you to come and grab your seats. Shana Tova. Silence your cell phones if you have them. Take note of our exits so that we can begin our prayer together. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
So first things first, you may notice that there is a member of our clergy team who is not with us here on the Bima. I want to share that Cantor Corn is okay, but earlier today he had to head to the ER and he has kidney stones. So he is not with us tonight, but as long as he is well enough right now, he is hopefully streaming in, and we can all say, Rafua Shlema, Cantor Corn, and a Shana Tova. And I mean this when I say that tonight will be okay, because Cantor Corn has prepared so intensely and so intentionally for tonight. Our choir, as you can already tell, is exceptional, and I know you already know that, and this is my first time choir, so now I know that as well. And so we, tonight as we go through our prayers together, as we open up our souls for this new year together, we will do so in song, absent, of course, of Cantor Corn here physically, but knowing that he is here every step of the way. So we're Refuah Shlema, Cantor Corn, and we hope to see you soon. Be better. So, of course, it is always a joy when we are able to come together as a sacred community, welcoming in our new year. For many of us, we have sat in these seats for decades. For some of us, this is our first time at a Temple Isaiah Rosh Hashanah service. But either way, for all of us, we begin anew tonight. We welcome in 5780 with joy for all of its possibilities and for its potential. We pray that it be a year of meaning and a year of purpose, and certainly may this be a year that draws us closer together as a community. If we have not yet, my name is Rabbi Perlman. It's a joy to be with you tonight. And I'm joined, of course, on our Bima by Rabbi Greninger, Rabbi Miller, Rabbi Levine, not Cantor Corn, but by our amazing choir tonight. And of course, I want to make sure to mention Daniel Lockhart, our amazing accompanist. Where'd you go? There you are, Daniel. Absolutely. And I want to especially call out our section leaders who are really stepping up in a special way tonight in Cantor Corn's absence. I apologize if I am mispronouncing your names. I'm going to try my best. So Jenny Matucci, Elizabeth Wagman, Christian Amig, Elizabeth Eliason, Cal Domingue, and Dewey Rafofsky. A special toda rabah, a special thank you very much to you tonight. And of course, we're also joined tonight on our Bima by our temple president, by Al and Janice, and of course by his family, by Lorette, by El and Eli as well, who are going to help us welcome this new year with light. Our blessings for the lighting of our holiday candles, our Yom Tov candles, can be found on page 11.
The first mitzvah in the Torah is let there be light. So we are commanded, in everything you do, be a menorah, a bringer of light, live with honor, act with integrity, do your work with passion, and the radiance of your deeds will live after you. May our ideals burn bright, forever unextinguished, and may we live our lives like the flames we kindle, always stretching upward, striving for the good, reaching for you.
Amen.
Please join with me responsively on page 12. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. This is a season of the soul, a time to rejoice, a time to reflect, a time to return, a time to gather round the table with loved ones and friends, a time for song and silence, for prayer and confession to open the heart, a time to retreat to our sanctuaries within, a time to renew the life and spirit of our community. This is the season of attentiveness, a time to notice what has unfolded and what has not, a time to regret, a time to forgive, a time to remember cherished dreams and high ideals erased by reality. This is the season of hope, like mist rising at sunset, like dew descending at dawn. Our hopes beautify and nourish everything they touch. Our hopes make us partners in creation, pursuers of peace, people who aspire to a world of justice. This is the season of awe. When our eyes behold it, may we feel blessed. When we turn toward each other, let us feel strength. When we seek the holy, may we find purpose. May we find courage. May we find love. Please rise as we turn to page 15 to prepare to listen to the sounds of our season, the blast of our shofar that signals that a new year has begun.
Tikaho, hakodesh shofar, akesobekes Elohim kagenu, ki kol Yisrael hu, mishpat leElohei Yaakov.
Amen. Tekiah. Please be seated. As we are greeted with the sound of our new year, we turn to page 19 to proclaim this year that is upon us. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu yehi ratzon shenizkeh levirchotecha bishnat 5,780. Our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessings in the year 5,780. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel with renewed life, happiness and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our heart be acceptable to you in the new year that stretches before us. We are forever grateful for the gift of life. It is now my great honor to share more of my gratefulness, more of our gratitude for our temple president, for Alan Jennis. I want to invite him now to our podium to share his words with us.
It's okay. Lashana Tova. It's been going so well for Rabbi Perlman over the past 90 days. The job seems a little too easy for her, not really that challenging. So hey, let's throw her a curveball. First Rosh Hashanah, no cantor. 4 rabbis, that's true. Even before tonight, it's been an extraordinary year for Temple Isaiah. Even the past couple of years, actually. Saying goodbye to 2 beloved senior rabbis who, with amazing volunteer leadership by their side, built a congregation and community that is nationally recognized as one of the great Reform congregations in the country. I've had the pleasure in this past few months to meet and work with so many of you. One Wednesday in June, I had the privilege of meeting with some of the wisest ones in our community, and I sat down. A woman looked at me, she shook my hand, and she said, "I am Ellen Baer, one of the founders of Temple Isaiah." Her pride was palpable. Only a few weeks later, I was here for services and met the daughter of Fred and Lillian Katzberg. And the first thing she told me as well was that her family were among the founders. Their pride is infectious, and I know that there are many of you in this room who fall in this category. You can't help but walk into this sanctuary or be on our campus without thinking about the vision of a group of folks who saw a tiki bar on a hill and built this community. We are so grateful, and you can be assured that our board gets it. It's an enormous responsibility to lead such an amazing congregation. I recently had the opportunity to meet with 10 of our past presidents, who surprisingly had no opinions whatsoever about the future of Temple Isaiah. But seriously, it was a privilege, and they and their boards too have played such an enormous role in bringing us to this moment, this new chapter for Temple Isaiah. I personally am so grateful to the presidents I've worked with, my good friend David Douglas and the incomparable Jasmine Tarkoff. Thank you for everything you do for Temple Isaiah. And of course, what you and the other past presidents and leaders have built has attracted what I call the dream team to Temple Isaiah. It starts with Deb Kirsch, Jen Boxerman, Allison Sorcher, and the rest of our professional staff who work day and night, trust me, it's true, for our community. A community that has a tremendous impact on the lives of our nearly 3,000 members and our broader community as well. But what Rabbis Waldenberg, Gretz, and Shanks have created at Temple Isaiah has attracted to Lafayette, California, not New York City, not LA, not San Francisco, the most amazing clergy team in the country. Many of you know that they are recognized nationally as leaders of the profession and leaders of the Reform movement. Rabbi Levine is one of the great young rabbis in our country. He leads with such heart our values and action efforts, including recently joining 20 of you on a trip to bear witness to the tragedy that's happening at our border. Rabbi Miller recently won the Covenant Foundation's prestigious Pomegranate Prize as a rising leader in the field of Jewish education, and her programs are a model for synagogues across America. You know, so often synagogues worry about how to retain families after their kids have completed a bar or bar mitzvah, and we do too. But building relationships with teens and their families is key, and last year, we had more than 120 kids at Know Our Nights, our teen program. Some of those relationships were made even stronger this summer as Rabbi Miller led a family trip to Israel, where 8 of our youngest members became B'nai Mitzvah. Her work is remarkable. Rabbi Greninger, our director of lifelong learning, is one of the very best Jewish educators in the country. She too has been awarded the Pomegranate Prize, and this year she was awarded the prestigious Wexner Field Fellowship. She is a true innovator, and this year she created and developed our J-Quest Juniors program for 2 to 4-year-olds, instilling a sense of community and love of Jewishness for such little ones. Amazing work. Cantor Korn serves on the board of the American Conference of Cantors Association. Every 2 years, the URJ, the Union of Reform Judaism, has a convention, the biennial. 4 years ago in Orlando, Cantor Korn was selected to lead the Shabbat morning service in front of more than 5,000 Jewish leaders and clergy, an incredible honor. 2 years ago, he was in Boston. He led the biennial choir for all the services. And this year, he'll do that again in Chicago. An incredible honor for him, an incredible honor for us, and a truly amazing experience. I hope some of you will be inspired to join me, Julie Bell, Rabbi Perlman, and many others from our community in Chicago in December. I know it's Chicago in December. Let's join us. And then last but not least, we are so blessed to welcome Rabbi Jill Perlman and her husband Jeff and their kids, Eli, Levin, Maya, to our community. Please continue to give them a warm welcome. For those of you who were here last week for Rabbi Perlman's installation, you experienced the incredible passion and intellect of Rabbi Perlman's mentor, Rabbi Larry Hoffman, who taught at Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, the Seminary for Reform Rabbis, for more than 45 years. He's published more than 40 books. He's won 2 National Jewish Book Awards. And his students were not just Rabbi Perlman, but also Cantor Korn, Rabbi Greninger, who was actually his TA, not surprisingly, and Rabbi Shanks. Rabbi Hoffman knows what makes for a great rabbi. During our search process, for which, by the way, I am enormously grateful to our search committee, led initially by Mike Bandler and Jill Douglas, and then by Mike and Jeff Rosenthal. Here's what Rabbi Hoffman said about Rabbi Perlman when Jeff Rosenthal called him for a reference. Rabbi Hoffman said, "The great congregations know how to discover great talent and will bring them in early in their career to grow and flourish in this kind of role. Jill Perlman is that kind of talent. I'm sure," he said, "that she will be one of the great senior rabbis. Not that she will be a great senior rabbi, but she'll be one of the great senior rabbis, like in America or ever." Nothing that she's done in the first 90 days of being our senior rabbi has given us any reason whatsoever to doubt that. No pressure, though, Rabbi. But I want to make clear that it's not just what Rabbis Waldenberg, Gretz, and Shanks and our past lay leaders have built that has attracted our clergy team to Temple Isaiah. You all created this. It's your passion, it's your commitment, it's your generosity that has created this. They know how much we love this community. I want to leave you with a short testimonial from one of our young families. About 15 days ago, it was the first day of J-Quest, our religious school, directed by the amazing Rabbi Greninger. Afterwards, one of our members with 2 little girls posted a note on Facebook about her experience. She said this morning her daughter started J-Quest. After a pancake breakfast, photo booth fun, and learning and playing with her class, she and her daughter joined hundreds of other parents and kids in the sanctuary for what she called the most uplifting, musical, joyful, age-appropriate, spirited, and beautiful little prayer service. Not your bubby's prayer service. I'm talking a prayer service for the 21st century. Music and dancing that feeds the soul, community love that made me cry, that made us and all the parents in that room feel so incredibly grateful that we are raising our children in this sacred place. The post continued, "Hallelujah. Standing before us were our 3 dynamite, all caps dynamite, female rabbis, leading my daughters into a world of learning and joy where women will lead with grace, power, wisdom, and compassion. Some Sunday morning." Wow, huh? That's just a little bit of Temple Isaiah from my eyes. I want to thank my family. Lorette, I know the sacrifices you're making too. Let me do this. And Elle and Eli, I love you both. I know that Temple Isaiah means a lot to you, and for Eli in particular, getting involved with Know Our Nights has had a big impact in your life. I urge you all to get involved. Join us. Become a Lador Vador member if you can, and support our values of inclusivity, diversity, and being a welcoming and audaciously hospitable community. A Kahila Kadosha, a holy community. We will all be richer for your engagement, and I know that being part of our community can make an enormous difference in your lives too. L'Shana Tova.
We turn to page 21. May we renew our words of prayer tonight, restore their luster, bring them to life. Let song and silence and shofar sounds awaken our souls. We rise together for Baruch Hu, page 20. Please be seated. We prayed together on the bottom of page 22. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk, as your wisdom opens the gates of night. Your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light, shaping day and night. You sweep away day and carry the world into nightfall, setting day apart from nighttime. You are God of all we can perceive and all that is beyond our perception. Living eternal God, be our sovereign to the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We express our gratitude for this orderly nature of our world, singing Roll into Dark. Rise together to proclaim the words of Shema, page 26.
Amen.
Please be seated as we continue with Via Hafta, page 28. Via Hafta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha v'hayu hadevarim ha'ela asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam beshivtecha beveitecha uvlaftecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotefot beineinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'Elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 33. You have stayed long enough in this place, God said. Time to go forward. Turn your face to the future. Believe that you can cross this sea and survive. Inside you is a Moses. Within you, Miriam dances, unafraid. Lift up your voice and sing a new song. The middle of page 31, we sing that song, Mi Chamocha. Page 34.
Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch Shema. Gehal Yisrael.
The high holy days stir us to confront our fears, but also to rediscover our yearnings. Hashkivenu speaks to our yearning for wholeness, for peacefulness, for safety and security in the embrace of God's presence. God is pictured as a mother eagle, carrying us on loving wings, and also a sukkah, a canopy of peace. As we pray Hashki Venu tonight, we hold on to these images, transporting us and grounding us simultaneously in the deep and pervasive awareness of shalom. Page 36.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu malkeinu leshalom ve'hamidenu
We continue on page 41.
You can't rush a prayer to God. If it comes from the heart, it will rush out on its own. Speed through receding galaxies or silences in the soul, and God will hear. Honesty with all, but speaking to God is different. Mine the soul for your coal and gems and regular earth, no pretense, and God will hear. Don't force the prayer or string words together. Pause, perhaps better not to pray. Silence will be a message of awe, and God will hear. Now step off into the very deep, beyond the way of prayer. We glimpse unknown magnitudes of God, no more, and we would be stunned into silence, except that love makes itself small. We could not pray at all.
Thank you so much. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 40. We turn now to the words of the Amidah on page 42. Please rise. As we continue through the Amidah, we will continue with the prayers on the right-hand side of the page in the pages following.
Yoshian Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'atzrat Sarah.
Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atarav Lehoshia.
Page 49. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. You are holy, your name is holy. Seekers of holiness praise you day by day, Selah. Please be seated. How do we sense God's holiness? Through awe.
Uvachen, uvachen, and so, in your holiness. Uvachen, uvachen, and so, in your holiness.
And so, in your holiness, give all creation the gift of awe. Turn our fear to reverence. Let us be witnesses of wonder, perceiving all nature as a prayer come alive. We bow to the sovereignty of your strength, the primacy of your power. We yearn for connection with all that lives, doing your will with wholeness of heart. Awe-inspiring is your creation. all encompassing your transcendent name. How do we sense God's holiness? Through honor.
Uvachein, and so, in your holiness. Uvachein, and so, in your holiness.
And so, in your holiness, give your people the gift of honor. Bless with praise those who praise you. Bless with hope those who seek you. Give your believers a basis for faith, true happiness for the land of Israel, true joy in Jerusalem. May the sparks of David, your servant, soon grow bright enough for us to see a beam of light in the darkness, a promise of perfection. How do we sense God's holiness? Through righteousness.
Uvachein, and so, in your holiness. Uvachein, and so, in your holiness.
And so, in your holiness, give the righteous the gift of a vision bright with joy, a world where evil has no voice, and the rule of malevolence fades like wisps of smoke. Good people everywhere will celebrate the stunning sight of arrogance gone from the earth.
Hein, and so, in your holiness. Uvachein, and so, in your holiness.
Page 52. You and you alone, Adonai, will reign over creation upon Mount Zion, home of your presence, and in Jerusalem, a city set apart by you. As the psalmist believed, Adonai will reign eternally, your God, Zion, for all generations. Hallelujah. Please join me. You are holy. Your name is awe. There is nothing divine beyond you. As the prophet Isaiah taught, the source of all might is exalted through justice, the God of holiness made holy through righteousness. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. We turn to page 56. God who is ours and God of our fathers and mothers, in your glory, reign over the infinite expanse of space and time. In your grandeur, be exalted. Through your power, show us your reality. Then all who dwell on earth shall understand that you are their maker. continue now with our silent prayers. The Amidah continues through page 68. You're welcome to read through as many of those prayers as you wish, and also take this time for whatever prayers are in your heart as we begin this new year.
We turn now to page 73. Our hearts turn towards those who are in need of healing. We bring to mind all those who could use our prayers for healing, for body, for mind, for soul. We offer our healing prayers for Cantercorn, for all those that we love, for all those who enrich our lives. May our prayers sent their way bring courage, strength, and healing. We sing together, Heal Us Now. Adonai v'nei rafeh, Hoshenu v'nimashea, El karov v'chol korav, ach karov lireav yishno. We pray for healing of the body. We pray for healing of the soul, for strength of flesh and mind and spirit. We pray to once again be whole. Elon Refana. Oh, please heal us now. Page 76. We'll read responsively in the English this page. Avinu Malkeinu, Almighty and merciful, you alone are our sovereign.
Avinu Malkeinu, for your sake, show us mercy.
Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu, bring healing
And wholeness to the ill among us.
Avinu Malkeinu, allay the harshness of the decree against us.
Avinu Malkeinu, inscribe us in the book of redemption and renewal.
Avinu Malkeinu, remember our goodness and call it to mind.
Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake and save us.
Please rise.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Katatu Lafaneka. Avinu Malkeinu, Kamol Aleinu, Ve'al Aleinu, Betapeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei Hotzar, Umashti, Me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kosavenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kadesh Aleinu, Kadesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Say
Please be seated. Shana Tova, my friends. It's good to be here together, returning once again to the grandeur, awe, and intimate opportunity for transformation that these high holidays offer. The earth has spun around the sun another cycle. I've been studying too many medieval scholars. It is time to examine the habits that we are ready to outgrow. It is time to aspire to change for the better and to practice those aspirations. It is time for us to be reborn along with this new year. We might take that mythical bird, the phoenix, as a role model for us. The Oxford Dictionary describes the phoenix as a unique bird that lived for 5 or 6 centuries in the Arabian desert. After this time, burning itself on a funeral pyre and rising from the ashes with renewed youth to live through another cycle. Every year, we too hope to burn away our mistakes, regrets, missed opportunities, and assorted failures, and emerge with renewed resilience and youthful hunger to keep learning and growing and trying and loving. According to Jewish tradition, the phoenix has its origin in the Great Flood story, when Noah and his family tried to save all sorts of animals. Noah established a feeding routine for his floating farm, but after some time came to realize he hadn't seen the phoenix around in a while. After searching the compartments, Noah stumbled across the once proud bird looking quite bedraggled and faint. Noah exclaimed, "Do you not want food?" The stubbornly kind bird responded, I saw that you were busy, and I didn't want to trouble you. And so Noah immediately blessed the phoenix, saying, "May it be God's will that you never die." And that's how the phoenix earned its fiery, magical rebirth. The lesson we learn from this fantastical story is a very human one. But frankly, not that great a lesson. The phoenix is rewarded with the ability to rejuvenate because it learns to persevere quietly, to never ask for help, and to pretend that somehow accepting aid from the person who is literally tasked with that responsibility is being too much of a nuisance. The phoenix is no role model. Rather, it embodies a dangerous myth that we humans can be magical creatures blessed with infinite energy if and only if we never admit weakness. In fact, the phoenix is doomed to never really change, stuck in its form forever, cycle after cycle. That's what occurs when we don't admit weakness. When we pretend we're stronger than we are, we get blocked from truly changing, from transforming into who we want to be deep down. The only transformations I have ever experienced came from a place of needing and asking for help. Many years ago, I was hiking in the spring green mountains of Boulder, Colorado with 9 rabbis and a cantor. We were there to be trained by the original adventure rabbi, Jamie Korngold. We were climbing a steep trail one by one. A large boulder proved particularly difficult to scale, yet Rabbi Korngold, who was at least a foot shorter than I, had somehow bounded up on top of it. She turned back and reached out her hand to me, and as a tall male who was pretty athletic, despite the laughter, I hesitated. Surely I could do this on my own. I've got this. But then Rabbi Korngold told us there's a lesson here. There are so many times in life's journey when we could use a little help, but there's no one there to help. So when someone offers you a hand, take it. Take it even if you don't need it, because there will be a time when you do need it. Get in the habit now. When someone offers you a hand, take it. So I took her hand, and she helped steady my balance as I stepped up onto the boulder and into a new, humble awareness that I too needed help from time to time. When someone offers you a hand, take it. Don't be a feeble phoenix. There's another story that I came across in teaching Midrash last spring. It's about another type of magical creature. Once Abba Yosef, this old person who liked to study by the spring, was sitting and learning at this spring, and a certain spirit popped out and said to him, I've been here a long time. I've never caused any problems. You guys go back and forth. I'm a good spirit, but there's a bad spirit coming, and this spirit wants to harm you. Abba Yosef said to the spirit, what shall we do to prevent this? The spirit said to him, go and warn the townspeople and say to them, whoever has a hoe, whoever has a spade, whoever has a shovel, shall come out here tomorrow at the break of day and gaze at the surface of the water. And when they see a disturbance on the water, they should bang together the iron and cry out, our side has won. And they should not depart from there until such a time as they see a drop of blood on the surface of the water. So Abba Yosef went and he warned the townspeople and told them what the spirit had said, and everyone grabbed their hoes and their spades and their shovels. And they went out and they gazed at the water, and when they saw a disturbance on the water, they banged together the iron and cried out, our side has won, our side has won. If only winning a conflict was as easy as that. But in any case, they kept doing this until they saw the likeness of a drop of blood on the surface of the water, and they knew they had gotten rid of that bad spirit. It's a weirdly delightful story. But then the Midrash gives the moral. If the spirits, which were not created to require assistance, occasionally need help, how much the more so we humans who were created for assistance need help. We were created for assistance. My friends, we need help. We need help. That's what it means to be human. We are existentially, inexorably, undeniably in need of help. And yet, how many of us think regularly, if not daily or hourly, that we can do it alone? That we can fix our own problems, or at worst will suffer silently rather than risk embarrassment and looking weak. We are often, as it were, possessed by a spirit of self-sufficiency, imagining once again that we are magical creatures that are totally fine and don't need to rely on others. When I am possessed by the spirit of self-sufficiency, a hand reaching out to help threatens to remind me that I'm only human. I can't tell you how many hands I've swatted away with something approaching terror, and how many more I've convinced myself were never there at all. Rabbi Ruth Adar, our wonderful East Bay coffee shop rabbi, writes, the one who has to ask is admitting and feeling powerlessness. What do I fear when I ask for help? I fear ridicule. I fear being a nuisance. I fear rejection. I fear gossip about perceived reasons for my need. I fear being made other. I fear abandonment. Fear makes needing help pretty uncomfortable, but we've got to push past that. Unlike magical creatures like phoenixes and water spirits, and unlike most animals, Our essence is not gifted to us, nor is it instinctual. Most things that make us human, in the best sense of that word, are hard for us to develop, perhaps by design. To be human is to be born with an invitation to grow into who we need to be. Learning to be ourselves is the task and the path. We are seeds that can choose to grow into trees. We are gardens if we know how to get rid of the weeds. We are interdependent, a stunning mosaic, if we could only admit each one of us is incomplete on our own. If we are to own our humanity and not hide behind the deceiving spirit of self-sufficiency, we have to grow in our comfort with needing help and our ability to see those hands out there reaching out to assist us. And I may have to ask my friend Adam for some help here. There's a slide with a chart. It was perfect as a plant. All right, so this chart gives us a framework for thinking about our relationship to needing help. It gives us a direction to focus our practice. When we are driven by fear and deeply uncomfortable with needing help, and we aren't very good at noticing help that may be offered, we live in the bottom left-hand quadrant where it says, ignore help. We ignore help or we're completely ignorant of the help that might be out there. It's easier not to see help sometimes because then we can imagine we don't need it. Even when we know that help is out there, when a partner or a friend or a coworker offers advice, or we know the doctor has a recommendation, if we'd only schedule that appointment, we may still refuse to take that outstretched hand. Stubbornly, we stick to doing it ourselves, stranding ourselves in the upper left-hand quadrant. But if we can get more comfortable, we might move towards asking for help, even when it's not obvious where that help will come from. Or even move to the upper right quadrant by becoming even more aware of the diverse resources and support systems and spiritual nourishment available in our lives. Sometimes, simply being emotionally and spiritually ready for help means it might come your way. Of course, what you think you need help with and what you actually need help with may not be the same thing. There's a story about a stellar employee at this large corporation who did astounding things with spreadsheets and graphics and charts, getting right to the heart of whatever it was this business was. But he had a real problem communicating his amazing work because every time he showed up to give a presentation, he peed his pants. This made it quite difficult to actually give the presentation. But his boss believed in him and knew if only they could solve this problem, there'd be no limits to this employee's future contributions to the company. So the boss reached out and said, look, there's clearly something going on here. I'm prepared to help. On the company dollar, we're going to send you to therapy, and you can figure out what you need to figure out, and then you're going to give perfect presentations. Gratefully, the employee started going to therapy, but some months later, every time he arrived to give a presentation, he still peed his pants. Finally, the boss asked, hasn't anything changed? We've really invested in helping you on this. To which the employee replied, therapy's been great. Yeah, okay, so I still pee my pants, but I no longer feel bad about it. Sometimes the help we think we need is not always the help that we actually receive. So how do we do this work of getting more comfortable with needing help? We need to understand our particular discomfort a little bit better. One extreme example is to imagine the neediest of people in our society, those who are homeless and living on the streets for any variety of reasons. What happens inside of you when you encounter raw need? When I encounter someone on the streets near where I live in Oakland, A rush of impulses floods through me. A desire to help, a recognition of how limited my help is, guilt that I'm not doing more, anger that the system lets people slip through the cracks like this, and also a contraction of my heart, a withdrawing and holding back. If I sit with that feeling long enough, here's what I've come to realize. What I'm experiencing is the panic of being human. Seeing a particular person beg for dollars, I see any human, every human. I see myself. I see through the fragile web of safety, and I see my own neediness, and I judge the hell out of it. Sometimes that self-judgment and fear ends up reflected in judgment of those in need. If I can reason myself to a place where perhaps they are undeserving, it doesn't really matter in what way. I know by contrast that I am deserving, and therefore we are different, and that terrifying mirror showing me my existential neediness is cracked, and I can return to my comfortable world of more mundane needs. The same is true when we encounter those who are sick. As Susan Sontag says, we are all dual citizens of the realms of health and illness, and we will inhabit both in our lifetimes. So when I've been uncomfortable in a hospital is because I am still trying to ignore that reality. Here's the bottom line. Being uncomfortable with other people's needs is almost always, at least in part, about our discomfort with our own needs. And when we are uncomfortable with our needs, we are living blind to our full reality, because we are human and we need help. We will need each other. Here's another way to practice comfort with help. I would guess most of us love to help other people, way more than we like being helped. It's important to help each other, and sometimes it is also an overcorrection to feeling scared of our own needs. When we try to help or to fix, we are trying to feel powerful rather than powerless. And of course it is good to help, but human beings aren't God. We aren't meant to be all-powerful. When we help in order to avoid remembering that we too need help, it's time to seek balance. So when you have been helped, pay it forward by helping someone else. And when you're given the opportunity to help someone else, look carefully for a hand reaching out to you and take it, whether you need it or not, just to practice. When you gratefully and gracefully give and receive, you're humaning quite well. Mary Oliver writes in a poem, "Someday I'm going to ask my friend Paulus, the dancer, the potter, to make me a begging bowl, which I believe my soul needs. And if I come to you, to the door of your comfortable house, with unwashed clothes and unclean fingernails, will you put something into it? I would like to take this chance. I would like to give you this chance." This is her poetic expression of getting comfortable with needing help. A more mundane example. My professional organization, the Central Conference of American Rabbis, matches new rabbis in their first 2 years with a seasoned mentor who can brainstorm, troubleshoot, offer support, and be a listening ear. I really valued my mentor, Jim, but after the 2 years of formal connection, I didn't really keep up with him. A few weeks ago, I was really missing our conversations, but I was distracted enough that I never managed to reach out. Or at least I used that distraction as an excuse. Although I needed someone to talk to, I kept hesitating, refraining from reaching out because I was uncomfortable with asking for help. Then one morning, I was walking to BART, and my FaceTime on my phone started going off, and lo and behold, there was Jim. And he was wishing me a happy New Year, but we didn't talk long because it turns out he had accidentally butt dialed me. Yeah. So, the universe has its way of teaching us to reach for hands even when they aren't intentionally stretched out towards us. We don't always get such clear reminders that help is human, normal, and necessary, that there is no shame in asking or needing. As we work to increase our comfort around needing help, we also can increase our perceptiveness, our ability to notice the sources of help that are available to us. Here's my theory. If we are ready to learn, anything might become a teacher, and if we are ready to receive help, we may discover it out there, sometimes in unexpected ways. We've got to be open and aware. So there's one type of magical creature I've not yet discussed that's worth mentioning: angels. In fact, we have a number of angels in this congregation. Remarkable souls who, through our angel network, have helped countless members. And we always need more angels, which could be you, to help make a meal, provide a ride, visit someone. But in addition to needing more angels, we need all of you to embrace being human. Giving help is angelic. Receiving help is human. In the Ne'ilah service, our final moments of Yom Kippur, the rabbis offered a profound prayer. It reads, "Ata noten yad," you, God, stretch out your hand towards us, ready to offer us help. We do not need to be perfect, nor do we need to fix everything. If we manage to open our hearts just enough to get vulnerable, to request help in the coming year, God will be there, ready to give us a hand. However it appears, through whomever God acts, when that divine hand reaches out towards you, take it. God will help us carry on that most complicated and sacred task, the task of becoming human. Shana Tova.
Will you be my refuge, my haven in the storm? Will you keep the embers warm when my fire's all but gone? Will you remember? Bring me sprigs of rosemary, be my sanctuary, till I can carry on, carry on, carry on. This one knocked me to the ground. This one brought me to my knees. I should have seen it coming, but it surprised me. Will you be my refuge, my haven in the storm? Will you keep the embers warm when my fire's all but gone? Will you remember? Bring me sprigs of rosemary, be my sanctuary, till I can carry on, carry on, carry on. In a state of true believers, on streets called us and then, it's gonna take some time till the world feels safe again. Will you be my refuge, my haven in the storm? Will you keep the embers warm when my fire's all but gone? Will you remember? Bring me sprigs of rosemary, be my sanctuary, till I can carry on, carry on, carry on. can rest here in the temple, or with a circle of friends, a quiet grove of trees, or between two bookends. Will you be my refuge, my haven in the storm? Will you keep the embers warm when my fire's all but gone? Will you remember, bring me sprigs of rosemary, be my sanctuary till I can carry on, carry on, carry on, carry on.
We continue with Kiddush, beginning on page 78.
Lift this cup for the year that is gone.
For mountaintop moments and the taste of joy.
Celebrations shared, milestones met.
All we've mastered and achieved.
Since last we met.
For wedding rings, tears, and kisses under the chuppah.
New babies, first words, and first steps.
For the children who bless our homes and bring life to our community.
For B'nai Mitzvah and comprimands.
Young teachers of this holy congregation.
Ours to cherish and guide with love.
For beloved wives and husbands, sisters and brothers.
For loyal friends who grow more precious with each passing year.
For this community which nourishes us all.
For all we've learned, for all we've struggled through.
For challenges surmounted and disappointments met with courage.
For last moments shared with those we loved and lost.
For parents and grandparents whose memories are with us forever.
We lift this cup for the year that is gone, for the year that begins.
May we meet it in strength, in unity, in hope.
We lift life's cup and celebrate survival.
So may we sanctify each day that is ours.
Baruch atah Adonai. Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai. Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachanu mikol ha'am, v'romanu mikol ha'shon, v'kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'titei lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava. Et yom hazikarom hazeh, yom teruah, ikra kodesh zeh. Kadesh Yisrael Be'yom HaZikaron. Amen. Amen. Eloheinu melech haolam Shehekeyanu. Shehekeyanu. Imanu v'hiyanu lazaman.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Shana Tova. A few announcements before we turn to our concluding prayers for this evening. A reminder that our services here tomorrow start at 9 a.m. at CCJDS for our Tot service for Rosh Hashanah, at 9:30 in this space for our morning service. Also down in our adult lounge at 9:30 for our teen service, and at 1:30 here again in the sanctuary for our family service. There is a lot going on here at Temple Isaiah. We want to also remind you that at 3:30, just across the street at the Lafayette Reservoir, we will be participating in Tashlich, celebrating Tashlich, this opportunity to start the new year fresh. Tashlich is a ritual in which we get to cast away the mistakes from this past year, and again, a start anew. We're going to be meeting up on the path on the left side of the parking lot, the east side, and that's Tashlich at 3:30. I want to remind everyone to please bring your parking passes and your tickets tomorrow to ensure that we have smooth traffic onto our campus. On your way out tonight, a reminder to take a grocery bag with you in between now and Yom Kippur. We invite you to fill up those bags with non-perishable food items. You can bring them back tomorrow or any time between now and Yom Kippur as a way to donate them. A great way to bring holiness into our year and to start by offering a hand of help to those that need it. Another way that you can help is by stopping by tomorrow at one of our Gift of Life stem cell and bone marrow registry tables. There will be tables open before our Tot service, before and after our service here, so our 9:30 service, before and after that, as well as before and after our family service. If there are bone marrow registry kits left, we'll also have them at Tashlich. A simple swab of the cheek can potentially set you on the path for saving a life. And I'll just share, you may have received an email from me earlier in the week, but this is a very organization with a deep impact, certainly on my life and the life of my husband and our family, as my husband's father, the grandfather of our children, his life was saved through a swab of a cheek, so to speak. He was able to find his donor through the Gift of Life. Gift of Life was founded after a man named Jay Feinberg was told that his chances for finding a bone marrow match were essentially nothing at all, nil to nothing, because there were not enough Ashkenazic Jews on the registry then. After 4 years of searching and many drives in synagogues just like this one, he was able to finally find that match, and then he started the Gift of Life Foundation. Now, today, Jews with an Ashkenazic background have a 75 to 80% chance of finding a match. Gift of Life is a wide and diverse registry that really tries to reach out to now all underrepresented populations. So consider swabbing. I may have said in the email that it's only 18 to 35. However, you can swab up to age 60, though there is, Gift of Life will only cover the cost of those up to age 35. Folks at the table tomorrow can tell you how you can swab in if you would like to do that. All it takes is one person, just one person, and you may be able to save a life. An additional announcement that there will be some honey cake on your way out. We want to make sure that you grab that. And also a note that as we turn when we get to a final piece, our final prayer and song together, that our clergy will leave our sanctuary first so that we have the opportunity to personally greet you in our foyer on your way out. And with that, I'm going to invite all of us now to turn to our concluding prayers, to turn to the words of Aleinu that you can find on page 82. Please rise. We remain standing as we turn together to page 88. To everything there is a season, a time for everything under the sun, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to laugh and a time to cry, a time to dance and a time to mourn, a time to seek and a time to let go. This is the time we remember those who gave meaning to our lives. This is the time we remember the bonds that tied us together, the love that we shared, and the memories that remain with us still. We bring close the memories of all those we loved. Their love and their legacy live on through us. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing in this year and in the years to come. We turn together to page 90. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael, b'gala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudasha barichu le'ela ul'ela mikol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechamata damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya V'chaim aleinu ve'ol kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'ol kol Yisrael ve'ol kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. We turn together to page 94 for the words of Adon Olam. ancestors, may you be with us and give us strength. May we enter this new year with eyes open, with hearts open, with arms wide. When someone needs a hand, let us offer it. When we need a hand, let us take it. May this year be a year of movement and of wonder and of gratitude. And may this year be a year of blessing. May our blessings overflow. May this year be a good one, a sweet one, a healthy one for all of us. L'Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.